Welcome to this video on Deep Dive into DPDP Act 2023. In this first part, we will explore the critical legal foundations of data processing and the requirements for valid consent under the Act. This video breaks down why a lawful basis is essential, when you must obtain consent, and the situations where processing is permissible without it. We will also outline the requirements for building valid consent workflows. It explains the legal grounds on which a data fiduciary may process digital personal data under the DPDP Act. In most ordinary cases, processing relies on valid consent, but the Act also permits limited non-consent processing under Section 7 legitimate uses. By the end of this video, you should be able to map a processing activity to the right legal ground and operationalize that choice in forms, apps, portals, and internal processes. The practical goal is not just legal knowledge, but process design that can withstand audit and complaints. There are two main routes for lawful processing: obtaining valid consent under Section 6 or relying on legitimate uses under Section 7. Always start by defining your purpose and then choosing the appropriate ground. A useful compliance discipline is to ask 3 questions in sequence. What is the purpose? Is there a valid Section 7 ground? And if not, do we have valid consent? This prevents both overuse of consent and misuse of legitimate use exceptions. Remember, notice must always precede consent. You must provide a clear, accessible notice that explains what data is being collected and why, using simple language that the individual can easily understand. Consent is only informed if the person first receives a proper notice. The notice should be concise, purpose-specific, understandable, and available in English or in 8th Schedule language as applicable. For consent to be valid, it must meet 5 key tests. It must be free, specific, informed, unconditional, and it must be given through a clear, affirmative action. Consent cannot be passive or assumed. The user must do something affirmative, such as ticking an unchecked box or selecting a clear opt-in choice after understanding the purpose and consequences. Valid consent respects user choice, whereas invalid consent undermines it. Avoid dark patterns, pre-ticked boxes, or bundling purposes together. The rule of thumb is one purpose, one choice. A simple design test is whether the individual can say yes to one purpose and no to another. If multiple purposes are bundled together, or if consent is tied to unnecessary processing, the consent model becomes weak or invalid. Your consent must match your stated purpose. Do not expand data usage beyond what was originally explained to the user. A new purpose generally requires a new notice and a fresh consent review. Consent is not a blanket permission slip. If the business later wants to use the data for a new activity, such as profiling or unrelated promotions, it should assess whether a separate legal basis and fresh consent are required. Consent management should be easy in and easy out. Users must be able to withdraw their consent at any time in a way that is as simple and accessible as the process they use to give it. Withdrawal does not undo processing that was lawful before withdrawal, but it does stop future processing tied to that consent. This is why organizations need technical controls to update downstream systems, processors, and campaign tools when a withdrawal request is received. Proving consent is a legal necessity. You must document when and how consent was obtained, maintain historical versions of your notices, and keep clear records of any withdrawals and subsequent actions taken. In compliance practice, undocumented consent is risky consent. Good records should show the text presented, timestamp, collection channel, identity link, and any subsequent withdrawal or change history. A consent manager is a registered platform that assists individuals in managing their consent. However, remember that the data fiduciary retains ultimate responsibility for ensuring processing remains valid and compliant. Consent managers add user control and centralization, but they do not remove accountability from the organization collecting and using the data. Learners should understand the difference between a consent tool and legal responsibility. Certain situations allow processing without consent, such as for state functions, legal obligations, emergencies, or employment-related purposes. These are narrow exceptions and should not be treated as a blanket fallback. Legitimate uses must be interpreted carefully and tied to the exact purpose. Teams often make mistakes by stretching a narrow operational use into broad marketing or profiling activity, which the Act does not support. Choosing the right legal ground depends on the specific scenario, from product demos to marketing or payroll processing. Always match the purpose with the correct ground and remain transparent about how you use data. The lesson is that the purpose drives the ground. A transaction, service request, legal obligation, or employment safeguard may use Section 7, while unrelated promotion or optional engagement usually needs valid consent. Special rules apply to children. You must obtain verifiable parental or guardian consent when collecting data from individuals under 18. Design your workflows to include age gating and genuine verification. Children's data needs a separate control design, not just a standard checkbox. Teams should think in terms of age detection, guardian validation, notice design, and restricted feature flows where needed. Common mistakes include treating silence as consent, bundling purposes, or making withdrawal difficult. To remain compliant, follow these best practices. Design with privacy in mind, respect choices, and review your practices regularly. These mistakes usually come from copying old web forms or using generic privacy language. The DPDP approach demands cleaner purpose design, better interfaces, and stronger back-end governance. Let's apply these rules to a real scenario. If a user fills out a website form for a product demo, you need to identify the purpose, check if Section 7 applies for the request, and determine if separate consent is needed for any future marketing. You can pause the video here and work on this scenario for hands-on experience. This exercise helps learners separate service fulfillment from optional marketing. It also demonstrates how one intake form can involve more than one legal basis, depending on the downstream use. Let us get into practical aspects of consent flow further. To draft a compliant consent flow, follow these 5 steps. Define the purpose, identify the legal basis, write the notice, create purpose-specific opt-ins, and design clear withdrawal and logging controls. Take up one use case, such as HR onboarding, customer support, newsletter sign-up, or event registration. Produce a notice line, a consent field, a withdrawal path, and a record-keeping approach. For further learning, a detailed guide with practical examples is available on the DPDPA Mentor website. This resource explains how to translate legal requirements into effective workflow designs. This guide is based on the steps provided in the previous slide, and various examples are provided for better understanding and practical usage. Remember, start with a clear purpose. Ensure consent is valid and provable. Keep your notice transparent, limit Section 7 usage to specific legal grounds, and make sure withdrawal is operationally effective. The central message is that legal basis is a design decision embedded into business processes. Strong compliance comes from aligning purpose, notice, consent, withdrawal, and records into one operational model. If you are interested in trying out the DPDP Act provisions, you can use the Consent Manager Simulation Portal at myconsentmanager.co.in to test your integrations as a data fiduciary or data principal. We recommend the Calpi Quiz app, available on the Google Play Store, to test your knowledge of cybersecurity, the DPDP Act, and other important topics. The app offers various levels of difficulty and interactive assessments to improve your awareness. Thank you for watching this video relating to Deep Dive into DPDP Act 2023. Hope you now know more about legal basis and consent under the Act. This was the 35th video in this series released by DPDPAmentor.in. Please visit our YouTube channel, DPDPA Mentor, as well as our website, DPDPAmentor.in, regularly to check out other informative resources. Wishing you a successful DPDP Act implementation.